If I told you a tiny bug in a credit card system let one hacker quietly steal over $2 million without ever stepping foot in a bank or cracking a vault, would you believe me? No guns, no masks, no high-speed getaway cars, just code, lines of logic, and a glitch buried so deep in the system, it went unnoticed for months. And here's the wildest part. He didn't need to touch anyone's personal card. He didn't need to steal numbers off the dark web, and he didn't even technically hack the bank in the traditional sense. He found a flaw in how payments were processed, a payment gateway exploit, and he turned that single loophole into a multi-million-dollar heist. Stick with me, because in this video we're going deep into the world of cybersecurity crimes, the genius behind one of the most subtle hacks in modern finance, and how one glitch in the code became a digital goldmine. Let's break it down. Before we get to the bug, let's talk about how the digital money world works. Every time you swipe a card, whether it's debit, credit, or even a gift card, there's a hidden dance happening behind the scenes. A payment gateway acts like the translator between your card and the merchant's bank. When you buy that coffee, the gateway checks your balance, approves the charge, and moves the money. But here's what most people don't realize. Every step of that process is just data, and wherever there's data, there are bugs, tiny mistakes, oversights, gaps in logic. Now, in most cases, these bugs are harmless, but sometimes, just sometimes, a clever mind finds a crack, and instead of reporting it, they walk through it, quietly. Now picture this. It's 2019. Somewhere in Eastern Europe, a young cybersecurity enthusiast, we'll call him Ivan, is messing around with an old prepaid card. He's broke, he's curious. But he knows enough about how payments work to know this. Prepaid cards don't always behave like normal debit or credit cards, so he loads up a card with just a few cents, and he starts experimenting. He tries to refund a fake transaction to the card, denied. Then he tries again, this time tweaking the amount ever so slightly, and boom! The system accepts the refund, even though the original transaction never happened, even though the card had no real money on it. The gateway, for some reason, didn't validate the refund logic properly. In other words, Ivan just tricked a payment processor into thinking it owed him money. And the funds? They landed back on his card like magic. A few cents, then a few dollars, then a few hundred. All fake refunds, all approved by a system that assumed the request was legit, and no one noticed. Most amateur hackers stop when they get a few thousand and panic. Not Ivan. He realized something most people don't. If one processor has this bug, others might too. So he tested it across different prepaid cards, virtual cards, gift cards, even foreign currency gateways, and slowly but surely, he built an automated system. He wrote scripts that would simulate purchases, then send refund requests for slightly more than the purchase ever took. Sometimes it was $100 in, $102 out, other times $500 in, $550 back, over and over again. He'd move the money across dozens of dummy accounts, laundering it through crypto, foreign exchanges, and digital wallets. The banks never saw the theft, because from their point of view, these were just legitimate refunds, and the payment processors, they weren't losing much per transaction. A few bucks here, a few bucks there, but over the course of 6 months, Ivan had quietly stacked $2 million, all without touching a single person's real bank account. So how did it end? Not with a dramatic arrest, not with a SWAT team kicking in the door. Ivan got cocky. He started moving large chunks of money in short bursts. He used the same IP addresses too often. He even bragged to someone in an online forum about the refund loop exploit. That post, it got flagged. Someone shared it with the security team at a major payment gateway. An internal audit followed, and when they traced the logs, they found it. A string of suspicious refund patterns, all leading back to a cluster of cards, all tied to Ivan. Interpol got involved, the system was patched, the funds were frozen, and Ivan vanished. Some say he was caught and quietly prosecuted. Others believe he escaped and lives off crypto in a country without extradition. No one knows for sure. But the bug? It's fixed now. The money? Long gone. So what do we learn from a story like this? First, even billion-dollar systems have cracks. This wasn't some amateur website or sketchy app. This was a regulated payment gateway used by real businesses. Second, cybercrime doesn't always look like Hollywood. There are no red lines flying across a black screen, no countdown timers, no vaults exploding. Sometimes the most dangerous hack is just a simple logic flaw buried in code written by tired engineers under deadline. Third, and maybe most importantly, there's a thin line between hacker and developer. Ivan could have reported the bug. He could have earned a bounty. He could be working at Google right now making 6 figures. Instead, he chose the dark path, and he got burned. Now you might be thinking, cool story, but what does this have to do with me? Here's the thing. These kinds of bugs are rare, but the systems we use every day are built on the same foundations. So here are 3 quick tips to stay safe in a world of digital finance. 1. Use credit over debit. Credit cards offer better fraud protection. If someone exploits a system, you're more likely to recover your funds. 2nd, monitor refund activity. Keep an eye on your statement, not just for purchases, but for refunds you didn't ask for. It could be a sign someone's testing the system. 3. Avoid shady prepaid services. Some sketchy payment platforms are breeding grounds for exploits. Stick to trusted services with a security track record. We live in a world where money is no longer physical, it's data. And just like any system of data, it can be hacked, bent, or broken. So if you found this story wild, or even a little terrifying, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next crazy true story about the wild world of money and tech. Smash that like button so more people understand just how fragile the systems we trust really are. And drop a comment below with the words digital heist so I know you're part of this ride, because this is Money Root, where we dive into the dark corners of finance, expose the hidden stories, and teach you how to play smarter in a world built on code. Stay sharp. We're just getting started.